Hey you guys. Um Look at this view. It is so beautiful. Wait, how I turn this camera around? I'm taking pictures. I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, I'm just gonna turn it around this way. It's beautiful. Anyway, I was driving and I was thinking to myself, how did I get where I am right now? Am I really somewhere or am I? Look at this beautiful tree. I'm sorry. I just love nature. I just love nature. Look at these pretty pink flowers. Just pretty. Um, and I got this idea from a friend to come somewhere where it's more naturist or nature like so that I'm not saying all the time in my videos. So I'm going to focus on these beautiful flowers behind me. And thank you so much, Lonnie, for the suggestion. And let's see how it works. Oh, goodness. I didn't realize that there was someone over there sleeping. I hope I didn't get him in the shot. Otherwise, I'm going to have to delete the video because I think that would be very rude. But anyway, so how did I get where I'm at? And then I'm like, well, am I really somewhere? I am. And that's something that I need to work on for myself. And so what I'm doing right now in my life is just kind of working on change, trying to work on things that made me who I am, and that can make me better. And so I just want to share this journey with you guys because I think that you guys can help hold me accountable for those things. And so I just want to focus on how did I get to where I'm at? How did I get here? And then it hit me. I did something that I'm very uncomfortable with doing. I usually overthink things. When there's a major decision for me to make in my life, I usually overthink it. And I think that a lot of people can do that. Should I do this? Should I do this? But if I do this, will it affect that? If I do this, who would it offend? Who's going to feel bad about it? Who's going to embrace it? Who's going to like it? Who's going to stop talking to me? Who's going to laugh at me or think, why is she posting these videos? We don't care. But then I think, well, there's people that's going to support me. There's people who are going to love what I have to say, who are going to be able to relate to what I have to say. And so as I think about major changes in my life, I remember all those changes were when I just did something drastically. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and do anything drastic, but what I'm telling you to do is don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid to do something out of your norm, because when you do things that's out of your normal everyday life, you begin to grow. If you continue to do the same thing every day, day in and day out, you're going to be in the same place. And so if you don't want to be in the same place, then you definitely have to make a major change. You got to decide today, I'm going to do this today, or I'm going to do this in 2 weeks, or I don't know, just give yourself a goal. And so I think back and I just want to tell you about 3 major things that I did that got me to where I'm at now. The first thing was after being a single mom, I worked 2 or 3 jobs. And this is when I just had my oldest child. I worked 2 or 3 jobs. They were not paying anything. I was working literally 2 or 3 jobs just to bring home $500 every 2 weeks. And that was with all the jobs combined. I was struggling. Okay. I ran into a lady who told me about being a CNA. She was a CNA. And she was like, hey, you should really think about it. I think you're compassionate. I think it's something that you can do. It can help you raise your child, XYZ. Okay, so I looked into it. I thought, maybe I'll do it. I can see, she showed me a check stub. And I was like, well, that check stub looked better than the check stub that I got, so I'll try it. So I did. I literally just quit my job. That was one major move that I made. It might have seemed small at the time, but there's a lot of people that are afraid to quit a job to go do something else. So I literally quit my job. I took my tax money and paid for myself to go through CNA school. I didn't even, or CNA training, should I say. I didn't even sign up for no programs or nothing like that because I just wanted to be done with it. So I signed up for the training and I did it. And I started doing CNA work. So the major change and the major decision that I made was quitting that job. Okay. So then I worked as a CNA for maybe 10 years. And probably about the 9th year, every day when I went to work, it was just this heavy burden on my shoulder, on my chest, that just was too much for me. And so it was more of like, do you want to do this? Do you want to do this when you're 60? Do you want to do this when you're 70? Now, by all means, some people love being CNAs, and there are 50 and 60-year-old CNAs, and they love doing it. I didn't think that's what I wanted to be. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to go back to school. So I went back to school, and I was taking like 2 classes at a time to get my associate's degree in human services. So I took those 2 classes, and it took me a couple years to even get through the first year worth of classes. And then I said to myself, you know what? If I keep taking 1 or 2 classes, it's going to take me 2 more years just to get an associate degree. Some people can do it, some people can't, but I made a decision. I said, you know what? Again, I took my tax money and a student loan, and my husband and myself paid up on our bills. We paid up on our rent. We paid everything ahead of time so that I could quit working as a CNA and finish my last 5 classes in one pop. And I did that. And so in 2016, I graduated from Ivy Tech with a degree in human services, an associate's degree. So I took about a year off, and then it just kept weighing on me again. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go back and get my bachelor's degree. So I made a decision to go back and get my master's degree. And when not my master's, I apologize, my bachelor's. And so I have a bachelor's in behavior and social science. So I went back to school to do that. And that was so hard for me because getting your bachelor's degree and working a full-time job, this time I couldn't quit my job because we couldn't afford it. But going back to school and getting a bachelor's degree and working and being a wife and being a mother and just wearing all these different hats was just so much for me to handle. But I did it. I literally cried several times, especially when I was taking research. I cried so much, and I was so tired, and I was so overwhelmed, and there was personal things happening in my life as well, but I was not going to let that stop me. So that was something else. But during that process, my husband and I bought our first home. And that was another major decision that we made. We literally left the home that we lived in for 10 years and moved in with our parents so that we can save up money and build our credit so we could purchase a home. And so we purchased our first home. We haven't even been in the house for a year. We moved in December. So we purchased our first home, but those major steps, quitting that job to go get my CNA license, quitting that job so that I can finish my associate's degree, working hard and wearing all those many hats to get my bachelor's degree on top of purchasing my house. I can say that 2020 that's the year I graduated from Bethel with my bachelor's degree in behavior and social science. But 2020 was so hard for so many people because of COVID. But for me personally, 2020 just brought so much to me because I graduated with my bachelor's. I bought my first home, my husband and I, in 2020, and we climbed some milestones. And so even though we had all these obstacles in our lives, and there's so much more to tell, but I don't have time. But though we had those obstacles, we made some major life decisions. And some people might not think that they were big decisions, but they were sacrifices that we had to make to get where we are now. And you best to believe we are not done. I don't know what's next. I'm literally praying about it right now at the moment. But during the journey, I just want to share it with you all. And then I also got to share this beautiful view. These beautiful flowers and stuff. I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's just beautiful out here. And Lonnie, I think it worked. I think it worked. I don't know how many times I said but I'm sure it wasn't 58 like last time. All right. See you guys later.